Hi there, Lindsay here, the Frugal Crafter for Sketchbook Sunday, and today we are going to sketch this citrus slice. I had so much fun playing with this. I used the new Ahuhu markers that I just reviewed last night on my YouTube channel. I have a really in-depth review if you want to check that out. I'll link it up in the video description. And I'm also working on this paper called Render. More about that in a second. I sketched on my citrus slices with a Prismacolor Col Erase pencil because I could erase the lead if I needed to. And then I went and layered up a few different shades of peach and pink to get the citrus color. And now I'm just stippling on some yellow for the rind and putting in some orange on the edge and then blending it together with that peachy color that I used on the citrus flesh. Now the thing to keep in mind when you're building up layers like this with marker is that they look a lot darker until they dry. So you might get into a panic. And when I first used this paper, the effect is really strong because the ink does not blend on the Render no show through paper. So when I was first using this paper, I hated it. I was just trying to blend on it like I would with marker paper or with my Neenah cardstock I usually use, and it just wasn't working. And I set that on the shelf and I thought, what a waste of money. I'll probably never use that again. But I thought I would try layering up on this with those markers because I had so many colors to choose from. So with 100 colors, I mean, you have plenty to layer up. There was a lot of lights in there too, so I thought it would work really well. And I also knew that I could use some color pencils and paint pens if I needed to. I just like how I can use different shades. Like when I use this deep raspberry purple color, when I layer it up on the other citrus colors, it looks like a natural shadow. And when you think of your colors, think of them like you're layering sheets of glass on top of one another, like colored sheets of glass. Think about how that's going to affect the color underneath. The real selling point of this paper is that it doesn't show through. So the backside of this paper, even with the amount of saturated color I am putting here, you're not going to see a bit of ghosting whatsoever. It is as white as snow on the backside. So it is definitely useful for that. But I would recommend, if you're using the Render paper, if you have it, if you're frustrated with it, try it layering, just layering up light shades until you get the hang of it, and then going in with some bold colors, because it is beautiful to work on when you do that technique. And I was even layering some markers over pencil, which I've heard you shouldn't do because it could mess up the tip of the marker. But I think that's really more of an issue with your brush tip pens. It's not so much of an issue with a hard tip like this, the chisel and the bullet. You can always scribble it off on scrap paper. And these markers are 50 cents a pop. So if something does happen, you haven't ruined an expensive marker. And honestly, I think you could even soak it in some denatured alcohol and clean it out if that happened, which everything was fine here. So after putting that one layer of the aqua down, and look how beautiful, it was so smooth. The ink is really nice in these markers. I went with some darker blue and it was quite a jump in color, and then I went over it again with a lighter blue, and then I dried it with my heat tool because I wanted to see what the color really looked like. It can look a little streaky until it's dry, just to warn you. And then I went in with a yellow, an orange paint marker and just kind of made some of those details a little crisper, and added a little pop of opaque color anywhere I wanted it. And I decided I could smooth out the background even further by using some Prismacolor colored pencil. And I just used the 36 set for this because I bought a bunch of them for $10 a set when they were on sale at AC Moore. And I thought they'd be nice for maybe teaching a class someday, but I haven't gotten around to that yet. And then a few finishing highlights with white, and that's really all there was to it. I really like the way this came out, and I'm definitely going to use a sketchbook more in the future. If you have any questions about the paper or the markers or the pens, let me know in the comments below. And all the info's in the video description. Thanks for watching. Until next time, happy crafting.